Okay, today's highlights from GreatStockPicks.com live trading chat room. This is Friday, February 11th. You can see SACS, SKS, broke out nicely today. We already had this on our watch list. I liked it above 12, but let's go to the 5-minute candles and show you how I called it and why. This is the opening candle right here. You can see that it gapped up above 12. I don't just want to dive in when I see that. And then it sold off. When it came back up, now I basically had confirmation that, hey, it's holding up after breaking out. So I waited and called it on a high of day break, 12.10. I think I said worst case stop 11.90. It was in a 20-cent range, so I didn't even mind calling a high of day break with a low of day stop. And from 12.10, remember the daily also had a potential catalyst from early November of a high of 12.22. So above that could act as another catalyst if it broke it. And you can see from 12.10 it ended up making it all the way to 12.73 without ever. There's a break, one retest, and then never came back to our entry. So a nice one there. Another one, it's not on the results page, but Jones Store, JNY, a nice tight base here. After the gap up, pulling back kind of like SACS did, and then a nice tight base right at the high of the day. I went ahead and said 13.78 if it breaks the high of the day. Worst case stop below this base, 13.68, so a dime risk, thinking it could maybe get through this big spike from the other day, and it did. From 13.78. JNY went to 14.16, not huge, but not bad, on a dime risk. And you can see once it broke, never came back and even came close to stopping out. What else do we have? Expedia just got crushed today. Huge gap down. These are 5-minute candles, but when it put in this long base, I called it using a method we teach at 21.12, right in here somewhere. Worst case stop, 20.99. So 13 cents risk. This here was like a block trade or an errant tick. This didn't happen, so it never did come down and stop us out. And from 21.12 went to 21.68. So a nice trade there on 12 cents risk. Oh, another one worth sharing, MTG. Now this was a verbal that I gave. I saw MTG gapping up in the morning. I liked the daily chart, thought we might have some shorts in trouble. And I was looking at it literally with a 2-minute candle here. After the open, I told everybody over the mic, it's in a 3-cent range. 9.67 is the low, 9.70 is the high. I said if this breaks this early high, 9.71 with a stop at 9.66. So I know of at least one member that did take this. I chickened out myself because the entry would have had to be, 3 or 4 minutes into the session, and there's so much whippiness that goes on that I just hate starting the day, with a bad trade and then having to dig my way out of a hole. So usually I'll sit on my hands for the first 15 minutes or so. But I did put this out as a verbal idea, 971, 966 stop. Could have had pretty good size. Definitely had plenty of volume there, a couple 100,000 shares in the first 2 minutes. And you could have had good size too because your stop was so close. It's one of those that I look back and I'm mad at myself for not taking it. But look at this, from 971, went all the way to 1042. That's a huge percentage move on a nickel risk. And like I said, I know of at least one guy that took it and did well on it. Unfortunately, I'm not that one guy, but there's another idea that I put out. A possible moneymaker, even though I wasn't projecting it and didn't make it an official call. We had some other stuff today, but that's the highlights. So I'll stop babbling. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.